Hello YouTube, Message and Bala here with another video. Now, as usual, I always want to talk about what I want to talk about, and this is the whole point of this YouTube channel. It's basically my personal podcast, my personal diary, memoirs, because I want to essentially leave behind something. Now, this YouTube channel is definitely fragile, I acknowledge that, so what I might have to do is start building another account from another website and dump all the videos that I made into there, such as BitChute. I think it's called. There was another video website. I'm gonna have to do research because it's similar to YouTube, but it's its own, its own thing. And the reason why I'm saying all this is because I really do want to leave behind something like a memoir diary, and maybe one day I'll write a book about it because it kind of sucks that a lot of people they don't think about their personal actions and they don't realize that their actions they kind of echo into consequences, if that makes any sense. I know it sounds like I'm talking gibberish. It's just I've been reading a lot of philosophy stuff, religious stuff, and I'm a true believer that your action has consequences. And when it comes to judging other people, judge them by the context of their character, not the color of their skin. Reason why I'm saying all this is because these days things are getting crazy out there. People are legit. I'm a true believer that people are getting brainwashed. People sometimes forget that psychology warfare is a thing. I mean, there's studies after studies about psychology warfare, how to brainwash an entire population, how to get them in line. And it's very scary when you see that stuff. Now, that being said, reason why I'm saying all this is because I've been closely monitoring my YouTube channel lately, despite I haven't uploaded any videos. And I also noticed that I kind of lost a subscriber, and then for some reason, I gained another one. And I honestly don't mind if I lose subscribers because, again, this YouTube channel is kind of like a podcast, and more kind of like one of those YouTube channels where I kind of trauma dump my thoughts, opinions into videos, and I basically share them. That way, if people really want to get to know me without actually knowing me, they could simply watch my YouTube channel. But more importantly, what I really want to leave behind is messages that hopefully they're like life advice of what to do and what not to do and make a better choice. That's why throughout my YouTube channel, I've been advocating, hey, think for yourself. Because me personally, I'm a dumbass. Don't follow the words of the dumbass letter by letter. Rather, interpret them and think for yourself. See if my wisdom is retarded, so don't follow it. But if my wisdom does have value into it, then go ahead, follow that wisdom. So interpret it how you wish. In other words, I'm just saying, think for yourself. Think for yourself and make the better choice in the end. Now, that being said, the past couple of videos I've been bringing this movie up because this movie, as I stated throughout the past couple of videos that I've been making about this movie, is because this movie seriously reminded me of my ex. And this movie left a mark on me because of that memory of a person that I knew. But what I'll never forget is the fact that she was doing something despicable while simultaneously painting herself as the victim, quote unquote victim. In other words, dodging accountability. And she, I won't say she experienced something like this because for her to experience something like this, you have to be a victim. I think what happened is she voluntarily went through something. I won't say similar to this. I would say she allowed herself to engage in this sort of stuff because she wanted, quote unquote, to experience it, to know how it feels like. but only for later for her to regret it. And her regrets is so severe that she got depressed. She doesn't want to talk about it. And I kind of could tell that my ex had sexual regrets. What I do not understand is nobody was pulling a gun to her head. No one is forcing her, holding her hostage, blackmailing her. No one was doing that to her. This was purely on her will. And the saddest part is that she acknowledged it and she confessed about it. This is something that I see in women a lot when I realize this, because a lot of women, they're truly ashamed of it. Like when it comes to sexual regrets, for a woman, it's very, how do I say this? It hits them very deep. For us guys, we rarely, if not almost never, get any sexual regrets. In matter of fact, we sometimes joke about it, saying that we sleep with disgusting blobs of creatures uh, just for kicks. In other words, us guys were willing to sleep with anyone, basically, and sexual regret is almost non existent for us men. I repeat, it's almost non existent. And sometimes we joke about it, even if it's the better what, even if the sex is that bad, we sometimes joke about it. But when it comes to women, it hits them very, very differently. And this is one of those things where I keep saying throughout my YouTube channel that men and women are different. Yes, we have to acknowledge that men and women are different. But when it comes to sex, it hits men and women differently. For women, it's very sensitive, but at the same time, it's also very, how do I say this, a little intimate, if that makes any sense. That's why, and this is an interesting study, but you're never gonna see this from the left. And when I say left, I'm talking about politics. Right wingers, they will definitely bring this up because it supports their narrative, but the left, they will not because it defeats their narrative. And that is, look at the suicide rates among female porn star. You will notice it's unusually high, and they're usually depressed. Why? Once again, sexual regret, forcing themselves to have sex with a random stranger, especially with a stranger that they're not attracted to. And they, best way I could put it, sex itself is more vulnerable than people realize, especially on the emotional side. That's why in one of my past videos, in one of my early videos when I started this YouTube channel, I was making a statement saying that sex is more intimate, more vulnerable. It's more, best way I could put it, sacred than people realize. That's the best way I could put it. And because of our culture, because of our hedonistic culture, people treat it as something disposable, something to make fun of, toy around, etc., etc. In other words, devalue it. And you're gonna notice a correlation between sex being devalued with depression, suicide, loss of community trust, etc., etc., versus sex being sacred. And as a result of sex being sacred, you see marriage being high, community trust being high, um, people's self esteem being high, etc., etc. And there are legitimate studies about this. Legitimate studies about this. So, this movie really hits a thorn on me because in this movie, when you watch, that scene, I can't really say it because of YouTube censorship. It makes you wonder how that victim got there in the first place. And when you do a little research, or at the very least, pay attention what the movie is saying, you will notice that the victim is there because she disobeyed her parents. She went out partying, doing hedonistic stuff, doing one night stand, and then eventually she got kidnapped and she is forced to sleep around with a bunch of strangers. It's like one of those things, be careful what you wish for. And what's interesting, because I did a little research about this movie, the actress herself, she actually engaged in this sort of stuff. In matter of fact, she made a blog. I really wish I could Actually, I'll look for the screenshot. I'll post it right here. She made a blog talking about that stuff when she was in her party years. Now she no longer does that because she got married. But it was very interesting to read that sort of stuff because in those blogs, she essentially, and I find this very interesting about women's mentality, she was essentially dodging accountability and saying that she was looking for a one night stand for approval of people, and she blames it on men. I find that very funny because no one is pulling a gun to her head, no one is forcing her, no one is blackmailing her, no one is, you know, pressuring her, sincerely pressuring her. You could get, in these days, you could get away of being a virgin. It doesn't matter if you're a boy or a girl. You could get away of being a virgin, and most people, they will not really make fun of you, especially if you're in your 30s or 40s in these days and age. Back then, yes, people will make fun of you because it's viewed as suspicion, especially if you're unmarried and never had a romantic partner around the age of 30. But these days, nobody really cares. Think about it, guys. These days, nobody really cares. In matter of fact, nobody really cares if you sleep with thousands of women. So it's vice versa. So this woman, she made a blog post and she was dodging accountability. How she kind of regrets her one night stand, all because she was looking for approval. This once again, this reminds me of my ex a lot because my ex, she engaged in this sort of stuff only for her to later have sexual regrets. And then she proclaims that she's asexual, which I find that highly bullshit because when I was dating her, she expressed her desire, if that makes any sense, towards other men. And what's funny is that eventually she slept with me. And when I broke up with her, she rebounded and went with the guy who she friend zoned for 10 years, 10 plus years. So again, I find her claim of being asexual bullshit, absolutely bullshit. And she even admitted to me that if she wanted to, she could go to the club and start sleeping around with a bunch of guys if she desired. So when she makes a joke or brag about that, that's when I know her asexuality is bullshit. So, guys, I'm gonna end it here because I feel like I ranted enough, but I hope you understand and get the point of this video. I make these videos because this is sort of like, real life stuff that you cannot get away. And more importantly, this is real life stuff that goes over a lot of people's heads, especially us men. Us men, we want to view women as innocent, as, people that can do no wrong. But when in reality, they know what they're doing and they know that their action has consequences. And when they regret something later because of the action that they took on their own will, keep in mind, and matter of fact, this is the key thing right here, their own will, that's something that they have to live with. If you guys remember what I said in my previous video, I said once you have sex and sleep with someone, that's it. You have to live with the memory, live with the consequences of it. There's no going back. You cannot reverse it. Like, it would be funny if people have that superpower to reverse it, but that's just fantasy. We're living in reality. So once you sleep with someone, that's it. You cannot reverse that. Well, guys, yeah, I'm gonna end it here. I'm gonna continue making more videos like this, but eventually I'll move on. Don't worry. And yeah, I'll closely monitor my YouTube channel. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you for watching. And please leave a comment down in the comment section below. I'd love to hear your thoughts, your story, if you have stories to share. And like and subscribe, all that jazz. Message in the bottle, over and out.